Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, shining sea.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, hello, Long Beach, and a big welcome to everyone watching from home or work. I'm so glad to speak to you live from the Terrace Theater. the same location where I have delivered 7 State of the City speeches. But unlike those speeches, today we're outside the theater, enjoying the beautiful views of Long Beach, with no slides and no big fancy screens. For our last year, it's just you and me. Now, being mayor of the city I love has been the greatest honor of my life. And that job won't be done until the next mayor takes office 1 year from now. Until then, I'm going to work every single day to ensure we build back even better. Now, we're living through the single largest crisis our city has ever experienced. No event has caused this much loss of life or economic disruption all at once. So this year must be focused on recovery. Our health recovery, our economic recovery, and our safety recovery. At the forefront of our recovery must be keeping people healthy. Thankfully, Long Beach residents have stepped up in huge numbers to help us recover from the worst public health crisis in our history. And I know that we are all tired and that this is really hard. But thanks to each of you, we have made progress over these last 2 years. Now, early on in this pandemic, the White House and the President called Long Beach a national model for COVID-19 testing and vaccinations. Long Beach was the first city to vaccinate public school teachers and educators, the first to vaccinate food workers, and the first to vaccinate dock workers. Today, more than 85% of all adults in Long Beach are vaccinated, thanks to our healthcare workers, community partners, of which there are over 60. And 99% of our seniors are also vaccinated. Now, critical to this work has been our mobile clinics that support vaccine access in every neighborhood. Ensuring health equity for our city would not have been possible without the incredible organizing and work of so many community organizations, going door to door in every language to ensure people were tested and vaccinated. And now, with the rise of the contagious Omicron variant, we are also increasing our testing availability. Now, in 2021, we performed 408,000 tests throughout the year. Last summer, we were averaging about 750 tests a day. And now we are averaging 6,000 tests every single day. And I know getting a test isn't always easy. That's why we've increased testing sites, expanded hours, and are partnering with the school district to make tests even more available. A huge thank you to our entire healthcare community over these last 2 years. We are forever grateful to all of you, and you are all our heroes. We've also begun preparing for the future. COVID has been hard, but through it all, we've supported each other and the small businesses who are the backbone of our Long Beach economy. The strength of our health recovery is driving our economic recovery. Unemployment continues to drop, and businesses are hiring back workers lost during the pandemic. Now, when I was elected mayor, we had a 9% unemployment rate. It lowered to 4.6% just prior to the pandemic. At the height of the pandemic, it peaked to 21%. And today, it's down back to 7.7%. Now, we still have a long way to go, but I want to thank all of the workers and small businesses who are powering this recovery. Now, an enormous driver of our progress has been the Long Beach Recovery Act, an ambitious plan drafted with extensive community input and adopted by our Long Beach City Council. The Long Beach Recovery Act is a $250 million plan funded through direct aid from the federal and state government. The plan invests $64 million in economic recovery, $110 million in a healthy and safe community, and $76 million to secure our city's financial future. We're also investing in our small businesses. And we're investing in nonprofit and arts organizations that are doing incredible work throughout the entire city. We're also seeing incredible growth in all of our key economic sectors. Now, as we all know, the Port of Long Beach has been having breaking records all year. And the doom and gloom predictions of empty store shelves and a ruined holiday never happened. In fact, last year we handled over 9 million cargo containers. That's more than at any time in our city's history, and an incredible accomplishment by our dock workers, our terminal operators, and our truck drivers. Now, with cargo up 21% since 2005, we know we must continue to invest in port infrastructure and the workers who are moving America's cargo. We opened up the new Long Beach International Bridge, and just yesterday, we welcomed Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to our port. He highlighted $52 million that we're receiving to kickstart our rail to terminal project. It's the largest grant given to any port in America in this first round of infrastructure dollars. Now, this project will make our port more sustainable and move cargo quicker in and out of the port. And while emissions are down 90% since 2005, we must continue to ensure that we focus on stronger clean air standards. We know that port-adjacent neighborhoods cannot bear the burden of a growing harbor complex alone. We must move immediately towards a future where zero-emission trucks are the norm, and ships are mandated to use cleaner technology. We're also investing at the Long Beach Airport, which, as we all know, is one of the best places to fly in the country. Next time you're at our airport, you'll see we're modernizing the campus from curb to gate. Our new ticketing building with state-of-the-art technology is set to open this spring. Our new baggage claim facility will also open later in the year. And after a very challenging time for the industry, Southwest began flying its full slate of 35 flight slots just last November. Our air carriers launched 8 new nonstop destinations in 2021, including Austin, Chicago, Dallas, Phoenix, Houston, Maui, and Honolulu. Now, right before the pandemic, this tourism industry was valued at $1.8 billion. Driving our tourism economy are our hotels, our restaurants, our attractions, and the Long Beach Convention Center. In the last 2 years, our convention center has become a COVID equipment distribution center for the national government, a mass vaccination site saving thousands and thousands of lives, and a migrant shelter for children, helping to safely reunite over 1,500 young boys and girls with their families. We are eternally grateful to the entire team at the Long Beach Convention Center and the women and men who work so hard in our hotels. Thank you. And leading this economic comeback is, of course, our booming space economy, or as we now call it, Space Beach. We are home now to Virgin Orbit, Spin Launch, Rocket Lab, SpaceX, Relativity Space, ABL, and of course, Boeing. Long Beach leads the state for space innovation and growth, and we are just getting started. But a prosperous economy isn't enough when not everyone in our community has access to good jobs or even a home. Right now, from San Diego to San Francisco, California continues to face a massive housing crisis, and Long Beach is no exception. And we know this crisis isn't new. Building more housing for families and those that are unhoused must continue to be an urgent priority. Last year, we partnered with the state and county on 3 motel conversion projects that have been highly successful. These 3 projects have added 280 additional units for people that are unhoused. And this year, we must commit to converting more motels into housing. We also opened up the city's first municipal-run shelter for unhoused people last summer, and it's been operating at or near capacity since. We know that access to healthcare, mental health support, and consistent work are also critical to supporting our residents who are unhoused. And nothing is more important than building more homes and preventing unjust evictions. Over the last 7 years, we have built over 4,700 homes, including affordable apartments, units for low-income families, and people transitioning out of homelessness. I want to thank our community and the Long Beach City Council for adopting tenant protections, eviction moratoriums, and direct relief for tenants and families. These efforts must continue, and we are looking to the state and federal government for additional resources to take on this housing crisis. Building back is also going to take continued investment in infrastructure. Our city already invests more into infrastructure than we have in a generation. In the last few years, we've upgraded over 15 playgrounds, fixed 10 community centers and libraries, and of course have continued to fill tens and tens of thousands of potholes. And I hope you've noticed that the city is cleaner today than it was a year ago. While staffing crews to clean the city remains a challenge, we've worked to clean up business corridors, neighborhoods, and freeway on and off ramps. And we continue to open up new parks. Later this summer, we will be opening up the brand new Lincoln Park at the Civic Center. It is an enormous investment in the heart of our downtown. Now, as you can see, our health and economic recovery are well on their way. But this year, we must also focus on a full safety recovery. During these last 2 years, we saw a nationwide spike in crime, driven in large part due to the pandemic and shifts in unemployment and access to guns. Most big cities in America saw significant increases in their homicide rate and violent crime, and gun sales spiked across the country during the pandemic. National gun sales increased by 64%, and even guns seized by our local police department have increased by 37% just last year. And while our city saw a 7.7 increase in violent crime over the last year, our murder rate, fortunately, did not increase. So Long Beach, despite our safety challenges, remains safer than it was 40, 30, or 20 years ago. Now, back in the 1990s, we averaged over 100 murders a year. Today, it's in the 30s. We are encouraged also by the fact that the last 6 months of 2021 were significantly safer than the first 6 months. That points to a hopeful sign that we're well positioned to make our city safer and return to pre-pandemic safety levels. I strongly believe that every person in our community deserves to walk down their street or neighborhood and feel safe. Our police academy classes this year will strengthen our safety recovery and ensure that we have enough officers on our street. And in addition, these officers will continue focusing on community policing by expanding bike patrols, neighborhood walks, and community partnerships. We know that investing in neighborhoods and violence prevention is also key to public safety. This year, we will continue transitioning to a new 911 response model for those who need mental health assistance and not police officers. And we must strengthen our Long Beach Fire Department by providing the latest technology, paramedic services, and modern fire stations. I want to thank our Long Beach police officers, our firefighters, and lifeguards for their difficult but critical work over these last 2 years. And as we focus on recovery, we will also map out the future. In the next few months, you're going to see some exciting initiatives begin in our city. In just a few weeks, our Guaranteed Income pilot will begin accepting applications across our community. Now, this program will provide 500 single parents living in poverty with $500 a month for an entire year, and additional support like access to broadband, childcare, and other critical services. We hope to replicate this program not just here in Long Beach, but across the country. And we're working this year on launching a centralized enrollment system for a new universal pre-K program across our city. Whether your family has pre-K with Long Beach Unified or a private provider, there will be just one location for you to sign up. This will ensure data sharing and our ability to ensure that every child has access to a quality pre-K education. And building back better also means taking on climate change. We will be finalizing our climate action plan and phasing out oil production by 2035 at the latest. That's 5 years ahead of the state. We will also be launching our Youth Climate Corps, modeling after the National Climate Corps program currently being proposed in Congress. And this year, our water department will double our investment in water infrastructure to increase locally produced groundwater. In addition, we will launch our free student bus pass for K-12 and community college students in Long Beach. We need to move towards free public transit for all. Now, these are just some of the many initiatives we will work towards this year. The incredible progress we have made, despite the historic crisis we are in, is made possible because of the strength of our community. It's the transit operators who never stop going and getting people to work. It's the teachers who did their best to educate our youth and kids despite enormous challenges. It's the union workers and laborers who kept building and working to power our economy. And it's the nurses and technicians who provided comfort to our loved ones. The state of our city is strong because our people are strong. And our country will recover because communities like Long Beach are leading the way. We have an opportunity to turn the page on a dark moment in our history. We are better than what we see on cable television and social media. We cannot become a country where truth becomes overwhelmed by lies. We cannot become a country where science is challenged by fear. We cannot become a country where demagogues try to chip away at our democracy. And we cannot be a country where we shut our doors and look away from the suffering and dreams of people outside our borders. I stand here today, the proud son of a woman who came to this country so her immigrant son could succeed. This country is at its best when it gives other kids the same shot that this country gave me. We can and we will do better. And cities like ours will show this nation how it's done. Thank you for your support over these last 7 years. Thank you for loving our city. Now let's go out and do the most good. God bless our city and our country. And as always, go Long Beach. Thank you very much.